Shashi Tharoor is an Indian politician, diplomat, and author who has had a successful career in various fields. Tharoor received his education in India, the United States, and the United Kingdom, and holds multiple degrees, including a Ph.D. in International Relations and Affairs. Shashi Tharoor was born on March 9, 1956, in London, England, to Indian parents Chandran Tharoor and Lily Tharoor. His family was originally from Kerala, a southern state in India, but his parents had moved to London to pursue their careers. When Tharoor was 6 years old, his family moved back to India, where he spent most of his childhood. Tharoor was raised in a cosmopolitan and intellectual environment, with both his parents being well-educated and well-read. His father was a journalist and a writer, and his mother was a school teacher. Tharoor was an avid reader from a young age and was exposed to a wide range of literature, from Indian epics to English classics. Tharoor attended Montfort School, a Catholic boarding school in Yercaud, Tamil Nadu, where he excelled academically and was actively involved in extracurricular activities. He was a member of the school's debating team and participated in various literary and cultural events. After completing his schooling, Tharoor went to St. Stephen's College in Delhi, where he earned a bachelor's degree in history. He then went on to study at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy at Tufts University in Massachusetts, where he earned a master's degree in international relations and a Ph.D. in political science. Tharoor's childhood and early education played a significant role in shaping his intellectual curiosity and love for learning, which would later help him succeed in his career in politics, diplomacy, and writing. Tharoor began his career as a journalist, working for publications such as The Times of India, The Indian Express, and The Economist. He later joined the United Nations in 1978, where he served for over 3 decades in various capacities, including as Under-Secretary General for Communications and Public Information. During the Gulf War, Tharoor was responsible for overseeing the UN's media coverage of the conflict, and he worked tirelessly to provide accurate and timely information to journalists around the world. In particular, Tharoor played a crucial role in getting the UN's message out to the public, working long hours to draft press releases, give interviews, and coordinate with other UN agencies. One inspiring moment during this time came when Tharoor organized a press conference with the Secretary-General of the United Nations, Javier Pérez de Cuellar, to discuss the UN's efforts to resolve the conflict. Despite the chaos and danger of the war, Tharoor was able to ensure that the press conference went smoothly and that journalists were able to ask their questions and get the information they needed. Tharoor's dedication and professionalism during the Gulf War were widely praised, and his work helped to ensure that the UN's message was heard around the world. This experience also gave Tharoor a deeper appreciation for the importance of accurate and timely journalism, and he continued to be a vocal advocate for press freedom and independent reporting throughout his career. Shashi Tharoor played an important role in the establishment of the United Nations peacekeeping force in the former Yugoslavia in the early 1990s. At the time, the Balkans were in the midst of a brutal conflict that had resulted in widespread violence and the displacement of thousands of people. Tharoor was the head of the United Nations peacekeeping operations in the Balkans at the time, and he was tasked with establishing the UN Protection Force, UNPROFOR. The force was responsible for protecting civilians in Bosnia and Herzegovina and ensuring that humanitarian aid could be delivered to those in need. Tharoor worked tirelessly to mobilize support for UNPROFOR and to secure the necessary resources to carry out its mission. He also played a key role in negotiating with the parties to the conflict to ensure that the UN's efforts were not obstructed and that the safety of UN personnel was ensured. Shashi Tharoor played an important role in shaping India's foreign policy during his time as India's permanent representative to the United Nations. He was a vocal advocate for India's interests on the international stage and worked to strengthen India's position in the global community. Tharoor was responsible for representing India in the United Nations General Assembly, and he used this platform to promote India's interests and values. He was a strong advocate for India's nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation policies, and he worked to promote India's economic interests on the international stage. Tharoor also played an important role in strengthening India's relationship with other countries. He worked to promote India's ties with the United States, China, and other major powers, and he helped to expand India's diplomatic presence around the world. During his tenure as India's permanent representative, Tharoor also played a key role in shaping India's response to global issues such as climate change, terrorism, and human rights. He was a vocal advocate for human rights and worked to promote India's commitment to the principles of democracy and pluralism. As a diplomat and a member of the United Nations, Shashi Tharoor has been a passionate advocate for the protection of refugees and has worked tirelessly to ensure that their rights are respected. He has worked on several UN initiatives to address the issue of refugee protection and has spoken out against policies that he believes undermine the rights of refugees. Tharoor has been a vocal advocate for the principle of non-refoulement, which prohibits the forcible return of refugees to their countries of origin where they may face persecution. He has also worked to promote the rights of refugees to access education, healthcare, and other essential services. Tharoor has played an important role in promoting the resettlement of refugees in third countries, including India. He has worked to mobilize support for refugee resettlement and has been a vocal advocate for the rights of refugees to live in safety and dignity. In addition, Tharoor has worked to raise awareness about the plight of refugees and to promote public understanding of their experiences. He has spoken out against the stigmatization of refugees and has called for greater compassion and solidarity toward those who have been forced to flee their homes. One interesting incident that highlights Shashi Tharoor's commitment to protecting refugees occurred during his time as Under-Secretary General for Communications and Public Information at the United Nations. In 2005, a group of refugees from Chad fled to the Central African Republic, CAR, to escape violence and persecution in their home country. The situation in CAR was volatile and dangerous, and the refugees were in desperate need of assistance. Tharoor led a high-level UN delegation to the region to assess the situation and to advocate for the refugees' rights. During his visit, Tharoor met with the refugees and listened to their stories of persecution and displacement. He also met with government officials and other stakeholders to discuss ways to address the refugee crisis and to ensure that the refugees' rights were respected. Tharoor's visit helped to raise awareness about the plight of the refugees and to mobilize support for their protection. He worked with local authorities and UN agencies to provide the refugees with food, shelter, and medical care, and he advocated for their resettlement in third countries. Shashi Tharoor has been a strong advocate for the use of social media in diplomacy, and he has used various social media platforms to engage with people around the world and promote India's interests. One incident that highlights Tharoor's innovative use of social media in diplomacy occurred in 2009, when he was serving as India's Minister of State for External Affairs. At the time, Tharoor was working to secure India's bid for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. To promote India's bid and engage with people around the world, Tharoor took to Twitter, where he had a large and active following. He began using the hashtag #IndiaForums to rally support for India's bid and to share updates about his efforts to secure the seat. Tharoor's use of Twitter proved to be highly effective, and he quickly gained a large following of supporters who were passionate about India's bid for the Security Council seat. His tweets helped to raise awareness about India's campaign and to build momentum for the country's bid. In addition to his work on Twitter, Tharoor also used other social media platforms to engage with people around the world and promote India's interests. He was an early adopter of Facebook and YouTube, and he used these platforms to share his speeches and interviews, as well as to connect with people around the world. Tharoor entered Indian politics in 2009 when he was elected to the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Indian Parliament, as a member of the Indian National Congress Party. He has since been re-elected twice and has held various positions within the party and the government, including as Minister of State for External Affairs and as Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs. In addition to his political career, Tharoor is a prolific writer and has authored several books on a wide range of subjects, including history, politics, and fiction. Some of his most popular works include The Great Indian Novel, An Era of Darkness, The British Empire in India, and Why I Am a Hindu. Tharoor is also a sought-after speaker and has delivered talks at various international forums, including the TEDx and Oxford Union. In 2009, Shashi Tharoor delivered a TEDx speech in which he spoke about the need for a new global language to bridge the divides between different cultures and peoples. Tharoor argued that English, which is widely spoken around the world, could serve as a bridge language that would allow people from different backgrounds to communicate with one another. During his speech, Tharoor shared several anecdotes and personal stories to illustrate the power of language and its ability to bring people together. He also discussed the role of technology in promoting cross-cultural understanding and the need for greater investment in education and language learning. Tharoor's TEDx speech was widely praised for its insight and eloquence, and it has been viewed by millions of people around the world. In 2015, Shashi Tharoor delivered a speech at the Oxford Union in which he spoke about the legacy of British colonialism in India and its impact on Indian society and culture. Tharoor's speech, which was titled, "Britain Does Owe Reparations," sparked a heated debate about the role of colonialism in shaping the modern world. During his speech, Tharoor argued that British colonialism had caused enormous harm to India and that the British government should pay reparations to the Indian people for the damage that had been done. He cited a range of historical examples to support his argument and used his own personal experiences as an Indian citizen to illustrate the ongoing impact of colonialism on Indian society. Tharoor's speech at the Oxford Union generated widespread media coverage and sparked a renewed debate about the legacy of colonialism. His eloquence and passion on the subject won him many admirers and helped to raise awareness about the ongoing impact of colonialism on the modern world. Overall, Shashi Tharoor's speeches at TEDx and the Oxford Union have been widely praised for their insight, eloquence, and passion. They have inspired many people around the world to think more deeply about important issues and to work towards a more just and equitable global society. Shashi Tharoor's life story is inspiring to many people for several reasons. Firstly, he has achieved success in a wide range of fields, including academia, politics, diplomacy, and writing. This demonstrates that with hard work, dedication, and a willingness to take risks, it is possible to excel in multiple areas of life. Additionally, Tharoor's commitment to social justice and human rights has inspired many people around the world to work towards a more just and equitable society. He has been a vocal advocate for marginalized groups, including refugees, and has worked tirelessly to promote their rights and dignity. Tharoor's innovative use of social media in diplomacy has also inspired many people to embrace new technologies and to find new ways of engaging with people around the world. His use of Twitter and other social media platforms has helped to promote India's interests and to build connections with people from diverse backgrounds. Finally, Tharoor's eloquence and passion as a speaker and writer have inspired many people to become more engaged with important issues and to take action to make a positive difference in the world. His speeches and writings are widely read and shared, and he has become a leading voice on a range of important issues. Overall, Shashi Tharoor's life story is inspiring because it demonstrates that with hard work, dedication, and a commitment to social justice, it is possible to achieve great success and make a positive impact on the world. His story is a testament to the power of education, innovation, and hard work, and it continues to inspire people around the world to strive for greatness and to work towards a better future.